animal welfare. All I can say is that every time a big truck drives by with pigs inside of it, I do cry, and they look very sad.
Can you tell me what the Farm Bill is?
Nope. Farm Bill? Yeah, nope.
Animal welfare? Well, I assume that's when an animal family is below the poverty line and receives additional support from the government. So the Farm Bill is the man who has worked on the farm for 80 years.
Tell me, what do you know about Proposition 12 in California?
Oh, nothing.
I know nothing about that. I'm so sorry. Animal welfare, like how they take care of the animals. You know, agricultural and food things.
I don't know what the Farm Bill is.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CAP podcast, Contemporary Issues in Agricultural podcast. I am your host, Sydney.
And I am your co-host, Jess. And today we have a bit of a special episode. For our mid-month, we're going to be doing some different conversations than our normal hosted podcast by the students. And today it was special because we are going to find out more about our host, Sydney. So we're going to jump right in with an interview. And I'd like to first ask you, what kind of got you interested in agriculture to start?
Yeah, I have an untraditional introduction into agriculture. I went to a school in Northeast Iowa, a high school in Northeast Iowa, and I was not involved in ag my first semester of high school, and my mom found out and she got really mad at me. I didn't grow up on a farm, so I didn't really think I needed to be in that class, but then she called my ag teacher and got me into that class in school, and the rest is kind of history. I did creed speaking as a competition, and that really broke me into agriculture. And I just want to shout out Miss Daisy for being an awesome ag teacher. And that's kind of how I got into agriculture. And the rest was history. And that's when I decided that I wanted to be an ag teacher.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't come from ag either. I didn't grow up on a farm. So it's good to know that there's other folks out there like that. And it's definitely an industry that you can get into if you aren't in it already. So now you're at Iowa State, right? You're pursuing your PhD. Talk to me about why you made that decision.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but I went to Upper Iowa for undergrad, and they didn't have an ag education program. So I decided to do business education and take some of those credits for ag education at Upper Iowa to limit what I had to do at Iowa State. So I had this all planned out my senior year of high school, that summer transitioning into freshman year of college. And then I came to Iowa State to finish the ag education portion of my degree. And before I had finished my master's, I found that I really liked doing research. I never would have thought that I would have been the scholarly type, but I really like what I do now, and I really like doing research. And I like working with Dr. MK, and that was a key decision to continue for my PhD, was really liking research and what kind of an impact you can make on agriculture through continuing research.
Yeah, so that leads me right into my next question. Tell me a little bit about the research that you're interested in, what you might be doing in the future.
Yeah, I was in high school, I was always really interested in the conventional versus organic debate and why the polarization of those two topics and sustainability as a whole. I mean, I've always been encouraging my parents to do more sustainable practices at home with our garden. But that's always been something that I've been really interested in, and like limiting my plastic usage and some of those things, which led me to the idea of greenwashing. In my master's, Dr. MK and I wrote a paper that we're still working on about greenwashing, which we have defined as deceptive eco-friendly marketing practices.
So where would you find greenwashing? Like it's talking about deceptive marketing practices, right? Is that like labels or? where does that kind of show up?
Yeah, so the research that we do specifically, we're doing into the labeling side of greenwashing, but greenwashing can also present itself in the physical, just the packaging, not necessarily a label, which is what we focused on, but it can also be in the way they describe their product, or saying like they use this percentage less water. You'll see that one on water bottles a lot. They'll be like less, 33% less plastic. And you're like, how?
Yeah.
Where did you take that plastic away? And the whole point of it is that these claims aren't backed up by information that you can find. There's no piece of evidence that's leading you to where those practices are coming from. There's no third party checking on that. There's no information on their website. Nothing. There's no credible information coming from that, which is it's hard for consumers to double check these things. And when you're in the store, how many other things do you have going on besides double checking what this or that says? Like, do you honestly think that you have time to do that when you go to Walmart?
Gosh. No, I only ever look at labels if I'm like perusing around and I'm not in a hurry. But if it's grocery day and I have a list, it's just like get the thing and put it in my cart. But that really makes me think about too, like I've heard a lot of the debates around non-GMO labeling, and some things are labeled non-GMO that there's actually not a GMO that exists for that particular thing. So I think your research is really relevant and super important. So that was your master's research, right? Where do you see yourself taking that now in your PhD?
Yeah, so for my PhD, I am working in a cohort for the RPTC, which is the Real Pork Trust Consortium. There is a website if you'd like to check it out. You can read all about what we do. We've got fun pictures. You can see what we all look like. You can see what I look like. It's got a lot of information about what we do if you want to double check what I'm saying. But what I do in this is I am helping host listening sessions, looking at data about pork consumption, and from the producer and the consumer side. My niche inside this is looking at consumer trust. And I'm currently working on research to assess consumers' trust in marketing and pork in general. That's kind of the avenue that we're taking it, and this will hopefully turn into my dissertation. I say hopefully, it's definitely going to be my dissertation. But there's, we got to find more aspects of this to research, which just comes with the continued data collection, which is the stage that we're in right now.
Yeah, and I feel like that aligns really well with your research on greenwashing, because really it's all about trust, right? When I look at a label, can I trust what the package says? So looking at consumer trust, I think piggybacks right off of what you've already done. So that's awesome.
Piggybacks. I see what you did there.
Yep. Got to keep it light here on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're a light pod.
So what other things are you involved in?
Yeah. So with doing the podcast, which is what we co-host together, working with the RPTC, I also assist in teaching a class. So I'm a TA, teaching assistant. Yep, I'm a teaching assistant, and doing research, which, I mean, it goes with the RPTC, but it's also a part of the dissertation. So it's like killing two birds with one stone with that. But that's what they go hand in hand, even though they are separate from each other. So those are the things that I do. On the teaching side, I am in the classroom once a week with students, and we're working on kind of a listening session, a focus group, like what we do for the RPTC. So it's interesting to see undergraduates doing that in a classroom setting. Obviously, all the students in the class have to participate, and you don't always have to in a listening session. But it's interesting to watch them develop skills that I am also developing at the same time as them, just on a different scale.
Yeah, I can see how that'd be really neat to kind of have the parallel going at the same time. You get to kind of teach what you're learning as you're learning it, which is really neat. So I'm going to hit you with one more question.
Oh, yeah.
What is your favorite thing about being a grad student at Iowa State?
Ooh.
I know it's kind of a hard one. There's so many great things to pick from.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I would probably say the community. I really like the way, if you didn't know, grad students get an office and we get dual monitors and oh gosh, it's beautiful. Beautiful, productive workspace. But that's not the part I'm talking about. I'm talking about the legitimate community that we have between the grad students and our office. We have 2 different offices that are right across the hall from each other, so just pop in and out, and we're all super collaborative, and we're nice to each other, and we're always trying to give each other tips, tricks, advice, networking. We're always doing those things for each other, and we're always just trying to make each other's day better and being a grad student less difficult. I don't know. I just feel like we're always there to support each other, and it's really neat. I don't think that everyone can say that about their departments and the people that they work with. So I feel like we are all very lucky to be working with each other in our department and getting to just talk to each other every day. I don't know. I have fun almost every time I come to the office. So that's probably my favorite part about being a grad student.
Yeah, I would totally agree. The community that we've got in our department is pretty special, and it's really, really nice to have those other people there to lean on that are going through the same things that we are. So I think I agree with you. That's probably my favorite part about being a grad student too. But I want to thank you for talking about your experiences today and kind of sharing a little bit more about you.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed on our pod.
Yeah, so we want to thank all of our listeners as well, and hopefully we will see you back here in a couple of weeks when we come out with our next episode.
If any of you have questions, please feel free to email them to us to be on a mid-month episode. Your input could also be included into this part of our listening schedule. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please send them to us. I know that that disclaimer is at the end of every episode, but we highly encourage you all to send us questions, comments, and concerns to continue to make us a better podcast and also get your input on the show. Tell us what you think, please. It makes our job more interesting.
And we'd love to grow this community, right? We were talking a little bit ago about community within our grad program. We want to build a community with you all too. So please send us your input, your comments. You never know, your question might end up on our podcast. So hopefully we'll hear from you guys soon.
Yeah, please tune in again. Thank you for coming, and we'll catch you next time on CAP. To email us with any comments, questions, or concerns, please send us an email at contemporary@iastate.edu.